I get a lot of messages about people wanting to know how we were able to walk away from corporate America in our early 30s. Well, listen, I want to share some of that information with you because I want you to be free, just like it's allowed me to be and so many other people. And if you're looking for a proven system that doesn't have a lot of overhead and that doesn't cost a whole lot, and you can do it part-time from the comfort of your home and have mentors and coaches and have a community of support, well, hey, reach out to me and we can share with you how we've been able to do that. Just go to eddiebales.com. That's EDDIEBAILS.com. That's EDDIEBAILS.com. And we look forward to sharing a little bit of information with you that could literally change the trajectory of your life like it did mine. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales. Have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like there's got to be more than life than the reality that you see every day? Tune in weekly, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as we crack the codes to freedom in every area of your life. Excited to have my good friend, Miss Angel Stevens, on the show, a great friend and business partner. And Angel has the secret formula to unlocking your A game, which is absolutely and unequivocally your personal best, taking you from zero to shero. It's a simple but powerful process that works in spite of adversity, helping you reach your life's goals based on your vision and not your circumstances. Angel's real life experiences birth the time tested techniques to help one explode from quicksand of mediocrity to greatness. Check her out. First in her immediate family to graduate from university, that's the University of Southern California, PFC to captain in the U.S. Army, bankrupt to debt-free, riding the bus to driving a BMW, 30 years certified fitness instructor, certified and integrative nutrition health coach, and so much more in life. Today, she is a successful entrepreneur and a savvy networker, building a world-class organization that is changing lives across North America. Angel continues to be mentored and trained by some of the best speakers, thought leaders, top income earners, and trainers in the industry, with over 10,000 hours of study in personal development and investing over $100,000 to participate in live workshops with experts in real life application. She has the skill set to help you go from surviving to thriving. Her clients have increased their bank accounts by 10 to 100%, designed powerhouse game plans to double their businesses, increased their wealth number, collectively lost over 300,000 pounds, eliminated the fear factor, quit factor, and the worry factor. Angel created the course Keys to the A Game Lifestyle, the ultimate lifestyle breakthrough, to help go-getter women, entrepreneurs who have plateaued in their business and life eliminate overwhelm so that they can turn their frustration into freedom and grow their business and live their A game lifestyle. Please welcome to the show, Miss Angel Stevens. All right. Well, hey, welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales, and this is episode 69. And I'm really, really excited because I have my really great friend and business partner, Miss Angel Stevens. And I'm excited to have her on the show because not only is she a ball of fire and she just brings the energy, but she's got a lot of passion and a lot of like really good things to share today. So welcome my good friend, Miss Angel Stevens.
Hey everyone, how are you?
Hey, glad to have you. And so thank you for your time. We know that you're such a busy person doing so many different things. And I read your tutelage of all the list of things that you've accomplished and things that you're doing. And we're just excited to have you on the show. And so, real quick, I know that you have, this episode, we're calling it A Game, and that is actually named after her coaching practice. And tell us a little bit about why you started the coaching program, more about the coaching program, and what does A Game actually mean?
Well, great question. First of all, Eddie, thank you so much for having me here and being here part of your audience here with Code Freedom. I'm super excited to be here. And yes, A Game Lifestyle. And what A Game means to me is being absolutely and unequivocally your personal best. You know, we always hear bring your A game. Well, what does that really mean? And I think most people get caught in A game meaning some definition that they see on someone else, but it's not. It's absolutely and unequivocally your personal best. And your best and what you feel is your A game is totally different than what I feel is that my A game for me, right? My A game may be your B game, or your B game may be my A game, you know? So that's what it means.
Oh, good. I love it. I love it because we all have different levels. There's levels to everything, and as long as you're bringing your best, right, then you're doing it. So good stuff. Well, what drove you to actually make it a coaching program?
It's a great question. I think it really started from when I was young, but I don't know if I should go that far back in sharing. But I've always had this inner thing since I was a kid to help people be at their best place ever. Right. And you hear that statement, take people from good to great and great to amazing. It sounds cliche, but sounds like a cliche statement, but what does it really mean? And that was a big thing for me because I would see friends and I saw family members, you know, that would allow circumstances dictate how they operated in life. And I didn't really understand that because I always knew that there was a solution to change the situation, right? Situation and circumstances to me are temporary. And I would see people make permanent decisions in a temporary situation. And so I'd always wondered, how could I help people, you know, get to a better place and get out of this situation? I used to ask my mom, how can I help people by talking to them? And so at first I thought it was going to law school. And so that's really where the seed came from. And then it just started harvesting over the years. And when I started looking at myself of how, you know, life situations would show up for me, and that as a single person I had a choice, is either, you know, melt into the wall and let life just come crashing in on me, or, you know, come off the wall swinging and fighting in spite of what was happening. And it turned out that perseverance was one of my genius points, you know, how to persevere in the midst of something that really should have just tore me down. And that really became the icing on the cake to birth what I call A game lifestyle, and to help other individuals live their A game lifestyle and show them how to navigate through their life situations and still thrive, and not
Wow.
just survive.
Wow, that is so awesome. And you said something so key. You talked about something about genius, right? Your genius points or something like that. And I just think that's so key because there's something that every one of us is really good at that nobody is as good as we are. And when you say bringing your A game, it's different for someone else because we all have our own genius. So I just think that's so powerful because that means we don't have to look at other people and think, oh man, they're so great because there's greatness in us. And I just remember times, I've known you for a long time. I remember times where maybe I wanted to kind of bring things down on my end and you say no, I'm not accepting that, and you would push people into great. I've just watched you over the years continue to push people into greatness, not even knowing that you're doing it. So I just applaud you for that. It's a great skill of yours. Tell us a little bit about your background. I know that the audience may not know you. You have quite an extensive background. I think you were in the military, and tell us a little bit about your experiences.
Oh yes, well, yes, and thank you for that as well. It's funny, you never know who's watching you and what's happening. I'm like, oh, is that how I'm showing up? I'm glad it was a good way. But yeah, I was in the military for 10 years. I was enlisted and commissioned, and so I ended up exiting the United States Army as a captain. I was an engineer officer, and I always wanted to have my own business. That was really the only reason why I decided to take off the uniform, is to have my own business, to serve at a greater capacity and have a family. Don't have a family yet, but I have a business. And so I have an extended family, I should say. And I just wanted to always have my own business. And I dibbled and dabbled in quite a few things, just searching for the thing, you know, and ended up with a few companies that wasn't really the passion. I wanted the check, but it wasn't providing the passion. And if you remember what I said in the beginning, what my seed was, so I really needed to be in a place where I could make a difference and make a living at the same time. And so Fast forward, I ended up involved with the company that's one of the businesses that I have still today, that I work from home, where I've been able to do just that, make a difference, make a living, be in control of the cash flow of my household, put people in a better place, take them from point A to whatever point it is for them, whether it's B, C, Z, or all the way to Z. And that is just absolutely phenomenal. And because of that, it has given me the freedom to do the things that I ultimately want to do, which is help people on a grander scale, not just in one pocket, of my life. And so just pretty excited about that. Did that answer your question?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's so interesting because that's what we talk about on this podcast all the time, is living a life that you're called to live and not the life you have to live. So I just applaud you for wanting to be an entrepreneur, but actually going for it and making it happen and making it a reality. Because so many people, they say they want to be an entrepreneur, but they're like, man, I got this business idea, and they never do it. And if they were around you, you would push them to do it and say, hey, why aren't you doing it? What are you doing? You'd get all up in their face and make sure that you're a great coach. So I definitely applaud you for that. Let me ask you, just speaking of freedom, what are some advantages that you've had in life as a result of having the freedom and the flexibility? Like for one instance, I know you moved from West Coast to East Coast, right? I mean, that's a big deal, right?
That's a huge deal, right? I moved from the West Coast to the East Coast. I live in sunny Florida. I think I should be a billboard because I am where I feel like I'm on a vacation every single day. This business allowed me to purchase my dream house. Some of the other, the biggest part that's so amazing when I think about it is how I've owned my own time. And, time is the one gift that everyone has. It's the most expensive gift that we all have. We're spending it right now as we speak, that we can't ever get back. And by owning that time, I've learned how to get better with it, to be a better steward with that time. Sometimes I don't do so great. And other times I do absolutely amazing with it. But that is probably the biggest thing. Like, I don't have to punch a clock. I don't have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning if I don't want to. I don't have to stay somewhere to, midnight if I don't want to. And I can't even imagine. I've met people over the years like, oh my gosh, you'd be great. I would love for you to come work for me. And I'm just thinking, oh God, I don't think I can work for anyone else. Do you know what I mean, Eddie?
I know exactly what you mean. I'm unemployable.
Right. I think that's probably been one of the biggest things, and being able to maneuver like I would like to see family, see friends, see the world, and be able to give back without any restraints. I remember when I worked in corporate America, and I had this a crew of people, and I wanted to give them a raise. It wasn't a whole lot. And I remember being reprimanded for wanting to give them, I think it was like $1 raise. So that was too much. So I had to go all the way down to 25 cents. And then I had to write a report justifying why I wanted to give them a 25-cent raise. That's unbelievable. Like, what can you do? You can't even go to the 99-cent store with 25 cents. What are you going to do? They don't offer penny candy anymore,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
These are grown adults, and I have to justify why I want to give them a 25-cent raise. And so being in a place where I can help people walk in their best, their greatness, their A game, so that they can go and do the things that they're purposed to do without any restraint. Yeah, there's some restraints. We understand that, but you get what I mean. That's a great feeling. You can't put a price on that. When you can look at someone who goes from saying one day to this is my day one, and you watch them from day one to day 90 to day 365, and their life is totally transformed. That's an amazing feeling. And just to say I was a small part of a small piece of that puzzle, that journey. I mean, I know you've had a lot of success in your life, so I know you know what I'm
Oh,
talking about.
I know exactly what you mean because I'm the same way. Like I want people to live their best life, and I don't want to see people struggle. I hate that. Sometimes you can tell what your passion is just off of what you hate.
Mhm.
And one thing I cannot stand is see people living a mediocre life when there's so much more greatness inside of them. And that's why I'm so called to do what I'm doing right now, which is just continue to serve people and help people do the same thing that you're doing. So awesome stuff. And that story was really empowering because you still remember it, and you still like to know that back then you were helping people get a 25-cent raise, and now you can help people walk away from their job, or help people to buy their dream house, and just different things like that. I mean, it's just so amazing that you shifted that. So I love that. What advice would you give to somebody who maybe they have a 9 to 5 and they want to live that kind of lifestyle that you're blessed to have, but they just don't know how? And we drop a lot of breadcrumbs in terms of how to live a free life, but we want to hear from Miss Angel Stevens. Just what would you suggest for somebody like that?
Oh, where do I start? First, I would say get clear on what you want. That's the biggest part. I believe more people would be where they wanted to be if they just knew what they wanted. And if we can get that muscle working again, that would probably be the biggest door opener for most people. Because most people have that door closed with everything. You say, "Hey, what would you want for dinner tonight?" I don't know. What you cooking? What do you want? What do you like? You go back and forth, even on simple things. So, if we could help people get clear on what they want for their life, not what their spouse or their brother, their mother, their sister wants for them, but what do you specifically want for yourself? And then once you get clear on that, then it becomes easy because all you have to do now is find someone who has it, and then one be willing to be coached by that person, right? So it would be good to get a coach or a mentor or whatever, and have the work ethic that would match that thing that you want, and be accountable for it, and just have
Wow.
a full out burning desire. So it becomes easy when you know what you want because then you can see it. Most people don't know what they want, so they can't see it. They can't see a way out.
Wow, that's so good. And I mean, you said a lot. You said make sure you know what your why is. We talked about this on a few episodes ago, is having this magnificent obsession, as Napoleon Hill talks about. Then you talked about having a focus and having a coach that can coach you through those things. And we talked about that on the episode. So and you talked about accountability. You got to have accountability because if you don't have someone it's accountable to, it's so easy to just fade away and not do what you know you should do because you don't have somebody who's like holding you accountable. So those are really, really great tips that you just shared. But funny thing, when you talked about people don't even know what they want to eat. So I know what I want to eat, but I yield to my wife because she'll say, "What do you want to eat?" And I'll say, "Oh, I want this, 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 and this." And she's like, "I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that." I'm like, "So what do you want?" Right. So that's a whole other story. But I don't even say what I want anymore because you don't want any of what I want. So let's just have whatever you want. I'll eat it anyway. But that's just a funny thing. But anyway, so so I'm just curious, you've had all this great success and you're coaching other people to have success, but we talked about this on, I think, one of the last episodes about, we can almost tell what's going to happen in a movie by the music because no one's going to have a perfect movie all the time. So what kind of challenges have you had and how have you been able to kind of overcome those challenges? And just tell us, I mean, is the juice worth the squeeze?
Okay. Ooh. Like, which ones do I share?
Exactly, right?
Yeah, and I know that more will come. I'm just very equipped for them. And absolutely, the juice is worth the squeeze. Let me start there. The juice is definitely worth the squeeze. Even when sometimes the juice is tangy, it's still worth the squeeze because sometimes, if you I'm gonna use this analogy. If you're dehydrated, and you go too much, you're not going too far, but if you could just wet your throat sometimes, you can get a little bit further. So don't worry, even if the juice is a little tangy, it's still worth the squeeze. Okay, I just want to share that first.
That's
But
good.
the challenges that I've gone through quite a bit, just transitioning from civilian to military life, from military to civilian. That's a whole challenge on its own. Going from being enlisted to commission, any of those who wear the uniform know what I'm talking about. That's a different challenge. And then some that most people don't want to talk about. Um, going through it was a long time ago, but going through, let's see, a divorce, going through a bankruptcy or a foreclosure. And I'm not saying these because it sounds good. No, I've gone through those. And homelessness, being homeless and still running your business, and no one knows but you, and you're still showing up every day smiling as you pull yourself out of that. And I have some more things, but I don't want anyone to be like, goodness gracious, girl. Well, I've worn that t-shirt. So I have a lot of t-shirts, sitting in the closet, but they didn't define me. As you see, I got dress on today.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it's okay, to go from homeless to today living in a four, bedroom, 2.5 bath. It's just me and my dog looking at the water, sitting in my office as I'm talking to you. It's amazing what it looks like when you keep moving forward. To have a time where you didn't have a car and you were riding the bus, to go from the bus to the BMW, is worth the squeeze, because all of those things that you've heard me mention in that list were all temporary. I'm not in those places anymore.
Wow. And when I look at you today, first off, I never knew a lot of those things. So I'm like still like, wow. But the beauty of it is you don't look like what you've been through. And I know because I've had my own challenges, so I know exactly what that's like. And failure is just a part of the process. Failure is part of freedom. You can't have freedom if you haven't failed. Matter of fact, show me somebody who hasn't failed, and I'll show you someone who will never be free. Ooh, that's a good one.
That's really good. I can't wait to hear the recording on this. And on top of that, Eddie, you talked about challenges, and most people want some things to change in their life. And if you write out the word challenge, change is in challenge. And so if you're looking for change, expect challenge. And if challenge shows up, no change is coming. The question is what type of change do you want to have come?
Wow.
Go north
Wow.
or south. So it can either go up or down. It will be up to you. And that's why it will help once you get very clear on what you want.
Wow, good stuff. Well, this has been such an impactful episode. I really cannot wait for the listeners to hear it. And if you could just tell everybody, how can they connect with you? Because I know you got more value to give, and we want everybody to be able to connect with you.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm so excited. Thank you for that opportunity. If you're on Instagram, you can find me at A Game Expert. It's spelled just the way you hear it, A Game Expert. And I'm excited. I got may I share some things?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I have a challenge coming up. Now, this is for the women entrepreneurs. So I mentor go-getter women entrepreneurs who have plateaued in their business and life, eliminate overwhelm so they can turn their frustrations into freedom, grow their business, and live their A-game lifestyle. And so I have an exciting challenge that's coming up next week. Well, it's actually a training, a 5-day training. It's really short, about 45 minutes a day. And it's called Stop the BS, right? Not that
Yes.
BS, but the belittling stories we tell ourselves, and just choose success. And it's 5 hacks to grow your A game, business, and life. And so I would love to meet some of you over there if that would be a blessing to you or someone that you know. And you can also grab that information on the Instagram site, click the link, join my Facebook group and go that route. It's been such a pleasure, Eddie, being here and allow me to come before you and talk to your audience. I'm really excited, and maybe some will come and say hi to me. Again, it's at A Game Expert. Come say hi on Instagram. And Sarah, turn it back to you.
Awesome. Well, it's been no, absolutely. It's been a pleasure having you as well. And I'm sure we'll have you again because you just brought so much value in such a short period of time. And I just love your story, your energy, and everything like that. So thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you so much.
All right. So we'll see you guys again on the next episode of Code Freedom. Take care and take charge. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for listening. Definitely feel free to take a screenshot of this episode, tag me in it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you find me on social media. I would love to give you a shout out. Hey, you might even get a prize. Who knows? But excited that you had a chance to take a listen. I hope you got a lot of value, and definitely feel free to Give us 5 stars as well as a review. Show us some love, and we appreciate you. God bless you all, and see you all over the top.